Hello students, hope all of you are doing well. At this time of sudden outbreak of COVID-19, I hope you are staying at home. Please stay at home, stay safe. In the meantime, let the teachers do our work or resume our work with the teaching, and we are trying to communicate with you via online through last 3 weeks or a month. So we are going to carry on that procedure, and from now on we are going to upload the videos and share it with you. Unlike the previous cases where you used to do the video call via Zoom or Cisco Webex or Tutor Box like these apps, but today we have moved to uploading the video. So if you have any problem or questions regarding this, you can call me later. In the later days, we will continue discussion on these topics, and we will also study the problem statements and the assignments. So let's start the video and let's start the lecture of the computer graphics subject. And today we are going to discuss about 2D transformation.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss about 2D geometric transformation. That means the transformation we are going to use during the moving of any shape or any object inside an animation, or let's say inside a video. Basically, so far we have discussed how to generate a line, and from that line we try to create how to generate a shape, and then finally we manage to fill that shape with different colors. Now that we have the total picture of a proper shape or proper object inside a frame, now we are going to see that how the transformation of that object is going to happen, so that in computer graphics and multimedia we can understand that how the animation or how the video works. Okay, so the first module that comes under the 2D geometric transformation is a basic transformation. That means the transformation operation that is going to be the base of this chapter, or you can say the base of this concept. That means it is basically going to include some basic transformation and their combinations. So basically there are three. Let me just take an example, that let's say we have a shape like this, and let's say this is the surface, and during the animation the ball is, or the shape is coming down and coming down like this, and whenever it touches the surface, it doesn't necessarily need to keep its shape intact, but whenever the transformation or translation is happening of that particular object, it is keeping the shape intact, but whenever that ball is touching the surface, at that moment the shape of the ball is getting changed with a bit. Maybe it is not visible to the human eye, or maybe it is, but we need to understand that whenever any rubber ball or any ball we are hitting it on the floor or any surface, basically it is possible to change its shape, and then whenever it comes back up, maybe it will go back to its proper shape, or will try to keep the shape intact. So that's why we need to study the both rigid and non-rigid part whenever we are discussing about the transformation. So that's why the requirement is needed. So whenever I am talking about the translation, rotation and scaling, you have to understand that I am talking about the rigid transformation, but it doesn't necessarily mean that non-rigid transformation will not include these three. Actually, the concept between rigid and non-rigid is the rigid transformation does not change the shape of the object, but in non-rigid transformation it may get changed. It is not necessary that it will get changed in the non-rigid transformation, but it may get changed. So the main concept behind this is every rigid transformation is a non-rigid transformation, but the other way around is not true. That means the vice versa is not true. That means whenever we are talking about a non-rigid transformation, it cannot be a rigid transformation. That is the main concept between studying these two. Now let's proceed to what is translation, what is rotation, and what is scaling. So basically, whenever we are talking about these three operations, I think every student is going to have a clear idea what I am talking about. Whenever I am talking about translation, that means it is moving from one place to another place without changing its shape or without resizing it. And whenever I am talking about rotation, an object is getting rotated to a particular angle, and whenever it is I'm talking about scaling, then that means that we are maybe the object is coming forward or coming backward. So whenever we are seeing through a camera, if an object is coming forward, it gets bigger, and when it is going backward in the camera in 2D viewing, we are going to see that it is getting smaller. So that is basically the concept of scaling. Okay, so these three operations we are going to discuss about them today, and we are going to see that how can we combine them in rigid transformation, and how can you explain the transformation using any mathematical equation. Is there a possibility to understand or generate any kind of animation using these three operations that we are going to cover today. So as I said, what is translation? Translation is applied to an object by repositioning it along a straight line path from one coordinate location to another coordinate location. So that is basically the concept of whenever an object is moving, or let's say anything is moving in an animation from one place to another place, it is basically a translation. You have to keep in mind that it should be along the line. Okay, it should be along the straight line. That means if it goes from here to here, it is not a translation. It is going to involve translation and rotation, because I can see that this object was with 90-degree angle with the surface, but here also it is having 90-degree angle with the surface, but the scaling has happened, or maybe something else has happened, but you have to make sure that it is happening toward a straight line path. That's what I am trying to say, and it doesn't change the height and width of the object. So in that case, scaling and translation both are going to be involved. So if there is an angular movement, it is basically not translation, it is going to be a rotation, but it may happen that it will consist of both rotation and translation. That part will be discussed later. Let's focus on what is translation and how it works. So let's assume that this is the surface, and let's say this is the object. Let's say this is the frame 1 of the video. I have already discussed how does the video work. It is basically a combination of separate image frames, and whenever we stitch them together, or let's say that we play them together with an interval of very less time, like 0.001 microsecond or millisecond, like that, then it is going to be assumed as a video, because human eye won't be able to intercept that actually we are playing a sequence of images. It is going to show up like it is a video. Actually that is a basic concept behind the video, and whenever we mix it with an audio clip, or let's say an audio file, it becomes audio visual. So that's how an audio visual or proper video or movie is getting created. So that was whatever we discussed earlier, and now we are going to proceed with the translation. What is translation and how does it work? So let's say this is the object in the frame 1, and let's say it has moved over here in frame 2. Let's say this is frame 1, and let's say in frame 2 it has moved over there. Okay, that means this object has moved along a straight line, but we can see that its position towards the y-axis hasn't changed, but its position towards the x-axis has changed. So in that case, the new position is going to be, let's say xn equals to, let's say the previous position was x plus the displacement, let's say plus h, right? And if it moves towards the y-axis, then it is going to be same, yn equals to y plus h. Okay, so that is how it is going to work. And if it is moving along like this, let's say the shape of the object has not changed, we have just changed the position of the object. In that case, we can use these two equation, that means this one and this one. So here Tx is the displacement towards the x-axis and Ty is the displacement towards the y-axis. So the pair of Tx comma Ty is the translation vector or shift vector. I think it is clear to everyone now how the translation work. So you have to keep in mind that the main concept or equation behind the translation is x plus the displacement and y plus the displacement towards the y-axis. So now let's say that point has moved over here. Okay, now it was already in an angle. This is actually the clear picture, this one. So this is actually the angle. Okay, so this whole thing is theta plus phi, and this is actually only phi. So theta rotation has happened, and after that it is going. Okay, so that is how it is happening. And if it gets incremented by theta, in that case phi plus theta will happen. And for the y-axis, this actually this one is a little bit wrong, because whenever we are moving towards the x-axis we are going with cos, and whenever we are going towards the sine y-axis, it is actually the sine. It should be sine. Apologies for the mistake in the slide. Okay, so if I simplify this, we get x dash equals to x cos theta minus y sin theta, and y dash equals to x sin theta plus y cos theta. Now why we are getting this? Because if I simplify this, we are getting these values. So we already have that r cos phi is equals to x. We are replacing this over here, and we are getting x cos theta. Similarly, replacing r sin phi, we are getting y sin theta, and similarly we are getting this equation. So if I convert it into a transformation matrix or 2D matrix, we are going to see that if p dashed is the rotated point, and r is the amount of rotation happened, and p is the original point, so in that case we have to multiply it with x, y, and this side it will be x dashed, y dashed. Okay, now let's move on to the scaling. That scaling means, I have already talked about it. Scaling means transformation that alters the size of an object. You have to remember that it is altering the size of the object. That means it is resizing the object, but it is not going to change the shape of the object. So if this is the original shape, and let's say this is the shape in the frame 2, that means it has reduced its size. So let's say that it has half of its size, and if it is gets bigger, then it is twice at its size. So just we have to multiply the amount of scaling that has happened. So if it got twice, we have to multiply it with 2, and if it is got half, then we have to multiply it by half. Okay, so that is it for today. We are going to continue with slides in the next video, the next lecture. Thank you.